The hypocrisy here is impossible to ignore. Watch this.
Where does the word abortion appear in the Constitution?
Where does the word? It doesn't.
It doesn't. So where are you grounding a right to abortion in the 14th Amendment?
In the 14th Amendment, the right to life and liberty.
Okay, so why are
with
you
due
defining
process.
life and liberty to mean a right to abortion? Because on the face of it, it seems like life seems to support our position. So why does liberty mean a right to abortion? Like, what are you using to interpret the Constitution?
Well, because liberty is what one does with their body, right?
That's not a constitutional, you're not interpreting
Yes,
the
that is what
Constitution.
freedom. I mean, how do you define
What
liberty?
what is the role of a judge, in your opinion?
Would you define liberty to be, well, a judge is due process, right?
No,
So
a
that's
judge is not
past,
due
you've
process.
now passed due process.
A
yes.
judge's role is to interpret the law.
Yes,
A judge's
exactly.
role is not to write the law. So
Exactly.
let me finish
So that
here.
would be
your
past
definition,
the point of due process, right?
Your definition of liberty that you posit for this particular, you're interpreting the 14th Amendment, you can't just give me what you personally feel liberty ought to mean, because that's just not how our system of government works. You have to appeal to, as we've talked about in this entire debate, a right that is unenumerated in the Constitution, like the right to abortion. It's an unenumerated right. The word abortion doesn't appear. You're grounding it in the right to liberty. But why should I believe your definition of liberty over anybody else's?
So then how do you define liberty?
Well, as the Supreme Court determined in its recent Glucksberg decision, or in the 90s, that an unenumerated right has to be deeply rooted in American history and tradition. Okay, so
okay,
that's
you
how
guys keep going back to that.
Because
but
you're
liberty
talking about
is defined as bodily autonomy. There's a synonym.
it's not defined as bodily autonomy in accordance with the way that the framers understood what the constitutional amendments and rights ought to be interpreted to mean and applied
Well, the
to.
framers didn't write the 14th Amendment. It's a Reconstruction Amendment. But going back to that, so you're right. We talk about liberty without...
If liberty meant at the
let's
time
talk about that,
let me just ask one question. If liberty meant a right to abortion, that at the time that the 14th Amendment was ratified, why is it that 28 out of 37 states had laws banning abortion, 30 out of 38 had laws regulating abortion, and in their statutory language, they used words like unborn child and called abortion a violation of human persons?
That's a great question because they want to control women's bodies.